This question says, list the intervals on which f is increasing. So when I look at a graph to decide whether a function is increasing, decreasing, or constant, what I want to do is I want to trace the graph moving from left to right. So starting on the leftmost part of the graph, I'm going to trace. And as I trace, I'm taking note of what's happening to the y values. So I'll start, and we'll label it after we go through the whole picture. So starting from the left, as I trace, my y values are decreasing. Then I get to this minimum value, and then the y values are increasing. Even though there's a point marked here, that doesn't change that the y values are increasing. Then we get to this value here, and now the y values are decreasing. Now increasing, and then decreasing, and then increasing. So now let's label that. So starting from the left, my y values are decreasing along this section. They're decreasing along this section, and decreasing along this section. I'll use a different color to indicate that it's increasing along this section, increasing along this section, and increasing along this section. So we've identified the portion where the graph is increasing, but now we need to write down the intervals or list the intervals. Now the intervals that we list, those are going to be our x intervals. So we're starting at -8 and ending at -2 for this section. That's -8 to -2. And some books use a definition on an open interval, and some books use an interval that's a closed interval. So sometimes you'll see it written as the open interval like this, and other times a closed interval like this. For this section here, our x values are 0, and that x value is 2. So that interval goes from 0 to 2 if we use open intervals, 0 to 2 for closed intervals. For this section, our x would be 5 and 7. So that interval is 5 to 7 or 5 to 7, depending on the definition. So to list the intervals where the function is increasing, that would be -8 to -2, 0 to 2, 5 to 7. If we're dealing with open intervals, -8 to -2, 0 to 2, 5 to 7 for closed intervals. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.